Welcome to episode 8 on our screencast series about building a social networking site using the Cold Fusion on Wheels framework. In this episode, I will demonstrate reading and displaying a single record from the database. Okay, first let's figure out what we want our URL to be like to load a user profile. So if you look up here where I have it highlighted in the URL, I'm going to go ahead and call the user controller and a profile action. And I can also pass it at the end what's called the key. And this will be passed as params.key in the controller and the view. And basically, for most intents and purposes, this is telling us to let's find a user profile with the key of 1. So in most cases, that would mean find the user record with a primary key value of 1. And so we can play around with this. I'm going to go ahead and go in our base controller real quick, and let's exclude this check login for the profile action. And let's go into user controller and let's create a profile action. And because we have our key passing an URL, we could let's go ahead and call our person model, and we can call on that a function called find by key, and we can just pass that key from the URL, so params.key. And let's go ahead and dump this so we can see what's going on. So I'm going to go ahead and run this URL. And if it doesn't find a user with that, it'll return false. So let's take a look at our database. And we'll see that an ID for me, for example, is 2. So let's go ahead and load that. And when it does, as you can see, when it does find a record, it populates all of the properties within the model object with the data so that we can use it on our view. So now that we have this loaded, we can go ahead and create our profile view in the user folder. So let's do profile and then CF output. And if you remember, I like having a CF param for user just to make sure, that it's clear to other developers that may touch this view file in the future that it expects a value called user. So we can create just a simple profile. So let's do user.firstname, user.lastname in our H1. And if we look at our database table, you can see there's other information that we could share. You probably don't want to share their email address on a public profile or their password, but one thing that we could provide is just the gender. We're just starting off with a simple profile here. So gender, user.gender, and we could say when they joined. That might be a good thing. So we can do a member since part of the profile. So because this is a CFML application, I can just use the date format in the view to provide the user created at and give it a format, whatever we want. So if we run this, you'll see that it has pretty much all the information that we decided to choose from the record there. We could show other profiles by just changing this value. So there's Minnie Mouse's profile. And that's pretty much what it's like to just pull a record from the database and show it in your view. For more information on the Cold Fusion on Wheels framework, visit cfwheels.org.